Welcome once again to the Library of Love and Culture. It was established to benefit Somali youth and parents in the diaspora. Its purpose is to provide free audio and video books featuring love and culture stories that reflect contemporary issues in the diaspora. The goal is to prevent and address cultural clashes between youth and parents in the diaspora. These stories are written and presented in a manner that guides young people toward positive values and good behavior in life. Most of the stories in our collection focus on the challenges faced by young people born, raised, and educated in the diaspora. These individuals often navigate the conflicts of surrounding cultures and the complexities of interacting with diverse cultural perspectives. Once again, on this Good Friday, we proudly present to you in both audio and video the story we have all been waiting for, The Love of Silence and Shyness. The story of this book was written and published by one of our best romance and culture authors, as stated on the book cover. A brief introduction to the source of this story. It was a beautiful Friday afternoon, calm, cloudless, and with a pleasant atmosphere when I finished work. I went straight home to my house in a beautiful and quiet small town in western Gotland, Sweden. It was also a lucky Friday, the day people received their salaries, and everyone was looking forward to spending the weekend happily, celebrating with loved ones or close friends. Fortunately, that night I was invited to dinner by a young Somali couple who were born, raised, educated, and married in Gothenburg. That same afternoon, I got ready and traveled to the city I had been invited to, which was about an hour and a half away by car. While I was on the road, I listened to the first draft of my new audio-visual book, which I am still working on. The book addresses the cultural clashes between Somali parents and youth in the diaspora and explores ways to avoid or reduce these conflicts through awareness raising and discussions involving youth and parents from different sectors. Its goal is to enhance their knowledge and abilities to foster a better environment for cooperation and mutual understanding between Somali parents and youth living in the diaspora. Without feeling the long journey, I arrived in Gothenburg and finally reached the entrance of the Romeo and Julia restaurant, where I was warmly and happily welcomed by Halima and Farah. The restaurant's attractive setting was designed for romantic couples and friends who care for each other, offering a calm and beautiful atmosphere to dine, celebrate, and enjoy together. The three of us knew each other and had been chatting privately online many times. I had discussed their love story with them to write a compelling short story called Love in Silence and Shyness. After dinner, they surprised me with a revised draft of their love story document, which I had sent them last week for feedback and corrections. This really sped up the process of formatting the story as an audio and video. After discussing the finalization of the book with them, we agreed to hold a launch party to premiere the book on the Love and Culture Library's channel. Chapter 1. About the story of love in silence and shyness. Halima and Farah, both aged 24, were born and raised in Gothenburg, Sweden, to Somali immigrant parents. Growing up in a household where the fusion of Somali traditions and Swedish values often clashed, they each faced the challenge of navigating two worlds. Their love story began in the heart of the Angered district, where their shared culture and experiences drew them together, but it was not without its hurdles. Although Halima studied for 3 years at the Faculty of Nursing and now works as a nurse, she still lives with her parents and younger sister in a 4-room apartment in Angered until she gets married traditionally. Farah is a 4th-year student at the College of Architecture. He is a dedicated student who aims to succeed in his academic goals to secure a good job and a fulfilling life in the future. Known for his openness and sociability, he has many friends who value his friendship, helpfulness, and honesty. They first met at a community event in the Somali Swedish youth group, where Farah, tall and thoughtful, caught Halima's eye. He was charismatic, always the first to laugh and the last to leave a conversation unfinished. Halima admired his openness, but there was something about his steady presence that made her feel safe. Over time, their friendship blossomed into a quiet love. They went on walks through the bustling streets of Gothenburg, sharing moments of laughter, feelings of affection, cultural reflections, and dreams of the future. Halima was known for her quiet strength. She carried herself with grace, but beneath her calm exterior, emotions often stirred. She had a way of keeping her frustrations and feelings locked inside, a trait she had inherited from her mother, Asli. She believed that speaking out might cause more harm than good, so she stayed silent even when things didn't feel right. Farah, on the other hand, was more open with his emotions, but he respected Halima's boundaries, trusting that their love could withstand the weight of unspoken words. Yet, as they grew closer, the differences in how they processed their emotions began to show. Halima's silence during moments of frustration or anger confused Farah. He wanted to know what was on her mind, to understand her better, but her quiet nature left him feeling unsure. He noticed how sometimes her anger simmered beneath the surface, unspoken but palpable. The longer she held it in, the more it affected their relationship. Farah often believed that their differences stemmed from a clash of cultures, such as the Swedish culture, which is more open and expressive, and their traditional culture, which they were deeply rooted in and believed in strongly. Halima's silence was not because she didn't care, but because she had learned from a young age that not everything needed to be said aloud. Farah respected that, but sometimes it led to moments of anxiety and tension between them. Halima's father and mother, Ali and Asli, were aware of their daughter's relationship with Farah. In particular, her father noticed that she was quiet, shy, and lacked happiness, which was negatively affecting her relationship with Farah. However, he struggled to understand the cause of the challenges his daughter was facing. Like many parents of first-generation immigrants, they did not prioritize discussing or studying the impact of cultural clashes on their children, which arose from differences between the cultures of their home country and the country to which they had immigrated. Uh, in fact, it was the underlying factor behind young Halima's lack of courage, determination, and shyness, which hindered her from realizing her desire to love Farah. One evening, after a long day, Halima sat quietly with Farah at the front yard's bench, her mind swirling with thoughts of family expectations, cultural clashes, and the weight of trying to live between two worlds. Farah, sensing her distance, gently asked, "Halima, what's on your mind?" She looked at him, her dark eyes filled with unspoken words, but she couldn't find the strength to say them. The silence hung heavy between them, and Farah felt a familiar twinge of uncertainty. "You know you can talk to me, right?" he asked, his voice soft but filled with concern. Halima wanted to respond, but the fear of causing tension held her back. It was in that moment that she realized her silence, though meant to protect them, was creating a wedge between them. She loved Farah deeply, but her way of dealing with anger and frustration was beginning to affect their relationship. In the months that followed, they encountered more moments like this, when Halima's quiet nature clashed with Farah's desire for open communication. There were times of distance when both wondered if their differences were too great. Yet each time, they found their way back to each other, knowing their love was stronger than the challenges they faced. Chapter 2. On Friday night, Halima informed her parents that she planned to visit her older cousin, Hanan, who lives in the Mölndal district of Gothenburg, on Saturday. She expressed her intention to spend time with her cousin and discuss various issues, God willing. Her parents were very pleased with her plan. Her father gave her the keys to his new luxurious convertible car so she could go shopping, buy a gift for Hanan, and use the car the following day. The next day, Hanan welcomed her cousin Halima to her home, located at the center of Mölndal, with immense joy. Halima is Hanan's dearest friend, and she had not seen her for the last 6 months because of her busy schedule. Hanan graciously invites her cousin to dinner at a halal restaurant called Friendship Grill House, which offers the best barbecue and romantic services and requires advance booking. While they were having dinner, they talked to each other in a calm and humorous manner. After dinner, however, Halima shared the story of her love and its challenges in a concise and clear way. She explained that her silence, shyness, and fear are obstacles to expressing her love to the person she cares about, planting it in his heart, and helping their love grow into something fruitful that could lead to a better future for both. As your cousin, Hanan, I thank you for the kind and honest way you shared your feelings, the depth of love you have for your friend, Farah, and the challenges that could affect your relationship. As a Hanan, with my background in psychology and experience as a high school counselor, skolkurator på gymnasiet, I learned a lot from both your body language and your words about your emotions when you shared your situation with me. Psychologist Hannon provided Halima with 5 valuable recommendations to help her open up, share her happiness with her boyfriend, and even build a strong and loving family for the future. To learn more about these recommendations, watch part 2. Love and Shyness story is to be continued. Watch part 2.